Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. Welcome back to another round of Community Notes Violating People. For those who are new, this is a monthly segment on the channel where we talk about this system on Twitter, which is essentially a communal fact check system where qualified users can make a note underneath tweets providing additional context, and if that note gets enough upvotes from the community, it is publicly applied to the tweet, often leading to some pretty funny results. The first example we're going to look at today involves the anime My Dear Friend Nokotan. This is an anime I would definitely recommend. It's exactly why I fell in love with anime in the first place. It's just super funny and super weird, and as it should be. And there's been some strange controversy involving characters from this franchise. People made similar claims like this where they believe one of the characters, Noko, is trans. Now, if you want to have your own headcanon about characters, that's totally fine. But the second you start saying, you're wrong, but I'm right based on my own headcanon, that's where problems start arising. And this user says this: the character has male physical features. She is trans. It's not a headcanon. It's just a trans character. Female deers do not have antlers. And you can see the note. It is very simple. It says Noko is female with a citation to basically the character's bio. And honestly, this whole thing is kind of strange. It's a strange logic because I would imagine this user considers themselves progressive, but the logic they're using here is basically saying someone's gender aligns with their physical features, which I'm pretty sure is not what they're going for in general here. But, you know, if you really dig into this claim about female deers not having antlers, there's some pretty good research on this, and a lot of hunters and other people have made similar claims that a lot of female deers in rare cases do have antlers, and some species like caribou generally have antlers. Female caribou grow antlers on a regular basis, so it's already on this basis a pretty ridiculous claim, but I think we're getting lost in the sauce here. We're thinking too hard about this, okay? If you're making an anime girl based on a deer, right, what is she gonna have? She's gonna have antlers, so you can identify that she is a deer girl in an anime. And on top of that, those are antlers that apparently she can remove at any time with the top half of her skull. Like, it's very ridiculous. And even the anime itself is very aware of kind of the crazy nature of some of its facts involving deer versus in real life versus this anime. And you can see this comment basically narrating the saying, but we're just some dumb comedy anime, so don't think too much about this. So, in other words, the OP here is thinking a little bit too hard about this character, but the Nokotan anime is definitely cooking, and you can be cooking well too with the help of today's sponsor. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Giga Chads at HelloFresh have returned to sponsor this video. Click the link in the description or use my code and get 10 free meals plus free breakfast for life. One breakfast item per box while subscription is active if you're in the US. Outside the US, the local discount will apply. Now, what is HelloFresh? It's America's #1 meal kit featuring a large selection of meal options for you to enjoy without the hassle of shopping at the grocery store. HelloFresh will save you time that can be used for things you actually enjoy, like anime girls and the latest Rev upload. Not only does HelloFresh make your life easy by bringing fresh ingredients to your doorstep, they also give you simple to follow instructions that'll make Gordon Ramsay look like an amateur with the meals you'll be dishing out. I also love HelloFresh because they offer not only delicious meals, but also high protein and diet conscious meal options for people like me who want to maximize their gains at the gym. So if you're interested in trying HelloFresh, make sure to use the link in the description or use my code. Welcome back, guys. Now we're going to look at some more examples here, beginning with a few community notes involving YouTube drama. So this first one is a very bizarre situation. You can see the tweet here. It says, the streamer trying to stay up for 264 hours hit their goal. So first of all, before I say anything, do not try challenges like this. It is dangerous, very dangerous for your physical and mental health. But we're going to get into why this is getting hit with a note in the first place. So this streamer on YouTube basically made a challenge to stay up for this many hours, right? And they did it through, I believe, like 12 different individual streams on YouTube, which the reason for that is that after a full 24-hour streaming, your stream is no longer archived, so you have to stop before that 24-hour mark. But in this case, it looks like they legitimately hit this mark, but it doesn't really matter. If you look at the notes, number 1, the Guinness Book of World Records will not accept any more attempts to break this record because it is dangerous. They don't want people trying this. And even worse, this milestone that they reached, that they believed was the world record, wasn't actually the world record. They did all of this in vain because the real world record was 453 hours, nearly double the amount that this streamer was able to reach. Again, a very dangerous thing. This person should not be encouraged to do this in the first place. And again, it was all in vain. So now we're going to move on to some more YouTube-related drama involving PewDiePie. We have another example of PewDiePie derangement syndrome here. So this user says, I haven't thought about PewDiePie in a long time, but this showed up on my feed, and it is extremely hilarious to see someone with an Argentinian flag defend someone that has used Nazi imagery repeatedly in their videos over their career. And that's people basically saying in this original tweet that people need to move on from attacking PewDiePie all the time, and they show this image of him that's supposed to make him a Nazi. Now the note says, the picture provided shows zero Nazi imagery. PewDiePie is wearing a British Army uniform. Yes, PewDiePie derangement syndrome will make you believe anything that'll make PewDiePie look bad. In fact, I have seen this exact image unironically used by journalists who are trying to do the same claims this user is in their articles, especially during the whole adpocalypse situation. But moving on to another longtime YouTuber, we're going to talk about Boogie2988 for a second. So he has had some very disturbing drama recently. Let's read this tweet. According to the internet, I lied about cancer. However, for the last 2 years, blah, 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 blah. And the note says, Boogie has admitted to lying about cancer. And it's a YouTube video claiming, or in that segment, Boogie claims that they lied about having cancer, just outright. Now, the downfall of Boogie has been a very disturbing one to watch. This was a guy who was beloved on YouTube for many, many years. A lot of people really liked him, and he was really successful. There was years, thanks to a document that really went into all this stuff, he was making hundreds of thousands of dollars of ad revenue every single year on YouTube. However, in the last year or two, he has gone completely broke because he spent all that money in very bad ways, making frivolous purchases, and the lion's share of that money went towards, let's just say, services. Now, over the past 2 years, Boogie has also been trying to garner a lot of sympathy from people by saying he has cancer. And a few months ago, he got caught promoting a crypto scam, essentially a rug pull, where he was paid $10,000. He said that he's in a desperate situation. He knows it was scummy, but he needed the money for medical treatment regarding his cancer. Well, shortly after that, it would be revealed that he was lying about that, and eventually he would admit that to everyone. Yeah, I believe a good number of you guys watching this video have either had a family member or someone you know who has gone through a battle with cancer, and the fact that someone would LARP as having that for sympathy points and money on the internet is deeply, deeply disturbing. Let's move on to some more drama involving the slime isekai this time. So this user says, girl's dying wish in this show is to be vored by a slime. Tell me again how this isekai anime isn't just shmentai here. So basically the note really just kind of chops this down hard. It says, Shizu, the character laid in bed, was forcibly summoned to another world by Demon Lord Leon Cromwell. The sole reason why Shizu asked Rimuru to eat her is to end the torment she endured by the cursed monster within her. Yeah, this seems like a very blatantly bad representation of what happened here. Very disingenuous. You can see by the fact that it has more comments than likes. People were ripping this apart, and they would come back after getting hit with the note with this light novel of an explanation and getting dunked on even more for doing this because nobody's got time for that. Like, you got hit with a note, just take the L and move on. If you have to explain why your 2-sentence tweet was good with a several paragraph long response, you're already kind of losing. You're explaining yourself too much. You got it wrong. Just move on. I don't know why people battle this so much because they get noted and they're just embarrassed. But let's move on to the next example. So this one is wild. We have an example like this every single time we do this segment. So let's read this tweet right here. It says, Tom Cruise, 62 years old, is now dating singer-songwriter Victoria Canal, 25. She was 13 when Mission Impossible 4 released. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have now achieved the movie release date of consent. That is how crazy things have gotten on Twitter. This logic is absolutely deranged. This could pretty much be used against anyone who has an age gap in their relationship of more than like 2 or 3 years. But you can see they get hit with a note, not just for the stupidity of this attempt. It turns out they're not even dating anyways. And the woman in question here has outright denied any of these claims. So this person is lying and making very strange reaches to establish something that is definitely not true. But here's the next tweet from Dylan Dennis here saying, if Jake Paul can knock me out, every single person who likes this tweet will get $50,000. I'll put it in my contract. And of course, the note says Dylan Dennis' net worth is $2 million. And obviously, this would never add up to the amount of money that you'd have to pay if this was a legitimate offer. Now, looking at the parties involved here, Dylan Dennis and Jake Paul. It reminds me of that Norm Macdonald quote, okay? But yeah, this is just obvious engagement bait, especially for followers, likes, and ad revenue, because you can see they're a Twitter Blue subscriber and likely in the AdSense program there. And it's really just annoying. It's a bunch of slop. It's artificial engagement on the platform. And on top of that, I think tweets like this where they're offering money for engagement are taking advantage of people in tough financial spots who are just taking a chance on this with the hopes that maybe they'll get some money to help them out. It's just a scummy thing to do, and a lot of people do it on Twitter. Here's another one saying they're literally worshiping the golden calf in the Olympics opening ceremony. Wake up. And the note says that is a bull. Now, if you want to look at strange things going on with the Olympics, there was a whole lot in the opening ceremony and other things, but I think here you're doing a little bit of a stretch. But here's some more stuff coming out of the Olympics. This person says, LeBron James, reptilian? Where the note says, LeBron James is not a reptilian. This individual just has a bad Wi-Fi. Honestly, like, I get it. This is what it looked like when I first tried to stream on Twitch, where I went in with a potato PC. I was working with about 3 FPS at the time, and it was a slideshow presentation. It was brutal, but you know what? You live and you learn, and sometimes you get it fixed eventually. But let's move on to some more bizarre, very simply noted tweets here. So this individual says, creepy monster caught on camera located in Ohio. Hashtag cryptozoology, hashtag monster, hashtag Ohio, hashtag ancient aliens, hashtag strange creature. Where the note simply says in 4 words, this is an owl. And these are honestly kind of the beautiful tweets, right? The beautiful notes where they're just so simple, where people make these crazy claims and it's met with a very simple response that debunks everything they're trying to do. And we see that a lot with nature accounts and also some of these like supernatural based accounts. They make these very easily debunkable claims. And here's another one that's pretty interesting. Join the American Communist Party, reclaim America, fight against the enemy state, achieve victory for the working class. And the note says, the photo is from a Halo 3 trailer. Yeah, nice try, dude. Here's another one saying, her name is Harris, or VP Harris. News reports calling her Kamala may not be intentionally disrespectful or demeaning, but that is how she is treated. It's wrong. And the note says, Jennifer Rubin referred to Kamala Harris as Kamala multiple times 2 days ago. Yeah, I always like people who just make instantly counterable lies, like instantly debunked lies. Like if you took 2 seconds to actually look at what they're saying, you'd realize they're a hypocrite. And it happens all the time. We cover stuff like this on the channel all the time. You don't know if it's just like ignorance or just willful disingenuousness where like they just don't think people will actually look into this, or they don't care if people do. I don't know, but it's just a very strange situation. And kind of in relation to the headcanon type stuff earlier in this video, let's end on this note. So this user said, characters never get confirmed straight, so straight characters don't exist. And then there's a gigantic never-ending list of characters being confirmed as straight. But I think this person is baiting, but nonetheless, it's still a funny community note to end on. Yes, that's going to do it for this video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comments section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.